Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. Some of us have spent time in the hospital. I know I have. But right now, New Hampshire hospitals are stretched to the limit. Here's a quote from my guest. All of the demand, COVID, flu, RSV, delayed care, for more appropriate care, patients who are unable to discharge care to other settings, nursing homes, long-term care and skilled nursing, which is more appropriate care, is colliding with the staffing shortage that has not only made more challenging by the pandemic, not to mention labor costs that are increasing dramatically. And then here's one of the reasons. One of the reasons is acute respiratory illness, or what we call the flu. And here's the chart. Here's the state of New Hampshire. And you can see the counties by county, and the colors are key. The green color is moderate in terms of illness amount. The yellow is elevated, the orange is high, and the red is very high. And in Coos County, there wasn't enough data to be able to calculate that. And then here are the bed occupancy rates in New Hampshire hospitals for most of 2022 right up to this month. Staffed bed occupancy rates, and you can see the dark bars are the inpatient beds in New Hampshire hospitals. These are averages. And way over on the right-hand side, you can see the occupied beds are up to 95.2%. That's the state average. With me to talk about this situation in New Hampshire with the hospitals is the president and CEO of the New Hampshire Hospital Association, Steve Annen. Welcome, Steve.
Good morning, Fred.
Nice to have you here. The quote from you that we just put up on the screen about the situation in New Hampshire hospitals. I mean, I've lived in New Hampshire for many years. I've never seen anything like this. What are the hospitals telling you?
Well, you know, that capacity is increasing. We've seen it going up over time. In fact, yesterday we reported 98% capacity across all hospitals throughout the state. That's a significant amount of volume, and as you noted, it's colliding directly with a staffing shortage. You know, our vacancy rates are up across the board. Staffing challenges are significant. The cost of bringing in travelers or temporary staff to serve our patients is a significant challenge. And what our clinicians and leaders are telling us is this is something they've never seen in their career, and the ability to make sure that we can provide care to every patient is going to continue to be a challenge over the coming weeks.
Staffing, supply of staffing, you just said it's a top issue. What are the hospitals doing to deal with it?
Hospitals are doing a number of things. Number one, they're making sure that they have staff in place. So that means bringing in those temporary staff or travelers. As I said, we've seen a significant increase in the cost of that. Last year, we saw a 133% increase in their contract labor costs from year to year.
Wow.
They're also working to, you know, make sure they're reimbursing or compensating their staff appropriately, providing as much flexibility as they can, finding new ways, new models to serve patients, innovating really to try and find ways to be certain that we're able to care for our patients.
Those higher labor costs are driving up the cost of health care to all of us.
That's right.
Yeah. And you acknowledge that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hospitals normally transfer patients to nursing homes, long-term care, but those beds aren't as available as they used to be. So they're at capacity as well. So how are hospitals dealing with those patients that ought to be transferred out?
So when a patient has been in the hospital, they've received their acute inpatient services and are ready to be discharged to that nursing home or skilled nursing facility, and we can't transfer them because of their workforce challenges. They've had to limit the number of beds that they can serve. Those patients end up staying in the hospital, and those patients take up a bed that another patient could use, and adds to the stress and challenge for all of us.
What's the outlook for the hospitals in New Hampshire the rest of the winter, generally speaking?
I think in some ways, Fred, this may be the most challenging winter of the pandemic. And I say that knowing that the last two were incredibly difficult for hospitals. But as we think about that increased capacity, that increased demand, and that workforce shortage, the challenges are going to be significant. And I know patients have been frustrated with delays all across the system, whether it's getting in to see their primary care provider, a specialist, or in the ED. Our providers are equally frustrated. They want to do everything they can to provide efficient, effective, and timely service, but we need people to understand we need their patience and we need their understanding.
Steve Annen, President of the New Hampshire Hospital Association, thank you.
Thank you.
And if you missed part of this briefing, you can go to WMUR.com, where it will be posted all this week.